Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. You may have noticed, maybe you didn't, that's okay too, that there was a little bit of a change in my brand on the cover photo. I've gone rogue from the basics bitch. I'm no longer kind of identifying with that. I think even in this space and in, you know, just like in our health journey, kind of like Wednesday's episode about building balance, you know, this is a fluid process, and I'm just not in alignment with that anymore. I haven't been for probably 3 to 4 months. And so it's taken me a while to land where I'm at, but I'm here and I'm really excited. So if you did notice that change, great. This is why. If you didn't notice it, hey, totally fine. No offense taken, obviously. So let's talk about fluidity in this process. And this is where I think that we have gone a little bit too far one way, where we make these excuses about hashtag balance and are these things, you know, are we, you know, again, I always go back to when to push, when to pause. It's all the same kind of concept. It's like knowing when we're supposed to do what we do. And so I think that understanding that this is a constant fluid process. This is something we talked about in my group coaching call the other day. It's something that I've talked about now in 2 different check-ins, and understanding like I'm in year 9 of this journey, like consistently doing the thing, showing up, paying attention to food, paying attention to training, paying attention to stress and sleep and all these things and how all these things affect everything. Okay. And I'm in year 9, and it's still a fluid process. And I still have days that I really struggle with hashtag balance and trying to find and what's an excuse and where do I need to push and when should I pause and all that kind of stuff. I'm still struggling, or sometimes ride the bus of the struggle to figure it all out. And accepting the fact that this is allowed to be a fluid process. This is allowed to be an ever-changing, ever-shifting, fluid process. We get to do that. We get to change. We get to pivot. We get to adjust. We get to shift as necessary. Now, again, are we changing too much? Are we not consistent enough before we change? And this is really where understanding when having a coach is really important. You know, I talked about my one client who's holding a lot on her plate right now. Another client had a conversation this week about like, should I adjust my macros? Like, I'm not really getting the shift that I want. And then all of a sudden got a whoosh on the scale. Sometimes we don't actually need to shift anything. We just need to be fucking patient. But when we go hashtag balance, well, then we start to allow excuses to set in, and or we go a little to the other extreme where we, you know, it's like an all or nothing mentality. Like I'm all in, or it's like, yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's okay. Not a big deal. And we have this hashtag balance issue, right? This is why I don't really believe in it. This is why everybody's balance is going to look different. This is why I truly believe that if you can fully accept that the process is fluid and it's ever changing and it's never going to look the same, not even month to month or week to week, but honestly day to day. Some days you're going to fucking crush shit, and other days you're going to be hanging on like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I feel like I used this visual before, but like where you're hanging off that merry-go-round, you're like, I don't know what's going on. And you're all over the place. This is normal. This is how the process works. This is exactly what happens. And accepting that piece is where we find our balance. Accepting the fact that it is ever changing, and you're never going to find a full balance where you can like go out to lunch every day and eat ice cream every day. And, you know, a lot of this goes back to that one TikTok that I did, and this mom got all like at me because she's like, if your kids want ice cream every day, I just don't see what the big deal is, right? Well, for me, I just don't also want my kids to get into habits where they think that ice cream every day is quote unquote normal, not because it's a bad thing, but because it's not necessary, right? Where I grew up in a home where that was. And I'm talking ice cream directly after dinner and then chips and dip at 9 p.m. Okay, that's the home I grew up in. And that isn't normal. And a lot of people, while I believe that you can, quote unquote, fit it in and make it work every single day, Most people don't have a balanced diet to begin with, aka quote unquote balanced diet, right? Most people aren't paying fucking attention. So when you're having ice cream on top of everything else that you've eaten, that's when it becomes a problem. So specifically on nights that we do like pizza night, we don't have ice cream that night. Why? Well, pizza's a high calorie meal. There's not a lot of protein. There's not a lot of nutrient benefit there. So if my kids want a snack, it needs to be something a little bit more nutrient dense than fucking ice cream. Okay? So that's where we bring in #balance, because not every day needs to be an ice cream day. Not every day needs to have those things. We are allowed to shift and flow and adjust and all the stuff, but not every day needs to be like that. You know, it just doesn't have to be. So this is my Friday no filter on #balance. And acceptance of fluidity is important, and it is, every day is ever changing, and you better get on board with that, where you might have your plan all set up and it fucking goes hogwash. You might have your plan all hogwash and you crush it. Like you might have no plan and you're like, damn, I crushed the day. You might have this great plan and you're like, oh crap, what happened to this day? Like what the hell happened, right? That's okay. This is a normal part of the process. Accepting that, understanding it, and knowing that this is going to happen is literally how you find the balance. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'd love some feedback here. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. We have a busy weekend this weekend. My big kids are training for lifeguarding positions, which is crazy that they're going to have a job at the end of the weekend, essentially. They're going to test out and they're going to crush it. I'm really excited for them. And then they're going to start having a job in a month. Like, it's wild. It's so wild. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Get out, move your body, drink some water, and let's get built by basics.